Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am the one and only infamous Kentucky Yankee without a doubt. Today I'm going to be doing a review on my 2021 KLX300 supermoto, Kawasaki that is. How do you know you're going to be getting a good, honest, and wholesome review? Let me start by saying this. Everyone that I saw who reviewed this bike said, it's about $6,200 retail. That's cheap. Very cheap and affordable. And here were my thoughts when I went to buy this thing used to save a few bucks. How is it cheap and affordable? Doable? Possibly for some people. Affordable and cheap? Absolutely not. As you can see, I made this bike my own by prettying it up a little bit with a cheap eBay decal kit. I installed dirt racks on the back to hold my luggage and some overpriced recycled Hepco Becker bags. This is one thing I always found to be strange about this bike. Why is the screen blue? My motorbike's green and black. Why is the screen blue? Not that it matters or affects anything. They do make a blue and black one too, and it would match better the screen, but why not green? As I said earlier, I did buy this bike used. It only had 27 miles when I bought it about 6 months ago. It now has 2196. How does a 5'7" Kentucky Yankee fit on this bike? I'll show you. Like so. Nearly perfect. I can nearly flat foot this bike. Feels good, very upright. Narrow right here, which always makes your legs be longer. Really, if it's wide, your legs are spread out more and they come up. But this bike wasn't always that way. When I first got it, the suspension was all cranked up as tight as it could get, front and back, and I was on my tippy toes like this. So I adjusted the suspension to my weight, made everything fit right. Now it's very comfortable to ride. Plus, you know, it's nice like this to be able to nearly flat foot a 300-pound motorcycle. I like that. Let's go for a ride, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this motorbike. Well, did you hear what I just said? I said, let's go for a ride. And do you know what that refers to? If you don't, maybe I should say this. Subscribe today. Why am I talking all ghetto? Benny, why are you talking all ghetto? Do any of you know? If you know, you know. Fuel mileage, that's the first thing we should talk about, in my opinion. And in Kentucky, Tennessee area, it's 80 and 90 degrees. It'll get 65 miles to the gallon. That's moderate driving, so not gut gouging it every time I take off and acting like an idiot, but getting up to speed quickly, just normal driving, maybe a little bit aggressive. 65 miles to the gallon. One thing I want to mention, and I strongly believe, is that this is a great beginner bike, perhaps probably the best beginner bike anyone could get. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that this bike is light, nimble, easy to handle, 300 pounds. It's great for a beginner. I've had many different bikes, and a lot of folks say I had a Z400, and a lot of folks say that's a beginner bike. Not in my opinion. It is if you have rode a dirt bike or something like that, then the Z400 in that case is a beginner bike. But if you hadn't rode any bike whatsoever, I would recommend starting out on one like this. So now let's talk about that power. Some folks would say this thing is a turd, slow, you know, it's weak, but that's not the case. It's 300 cc's. I don't know what you people are expecting. And I know they get a lot more power out of them when they change the mufflers and do a tune and all that crap and get rid of the emissions, which I am not going to do. But I know they get a lot more power out of them then. I'm satisfied with the power it has now. I've had this thing up to 87 miles an hour, and I know it'll go faster. What else do you need? Another reason to buy this for a first bike is because keep it. After you bought it, and you get used to it, and you've been riding around, and you're going around curves, licking the pavement and all that, then get another bike and keep this one because it's a great commuter and it's a whole lot of fun. So you have one just to rip around on, and then maybe you want a bigger bike, get a bigger bike. As of right now, this is my primary bike. I love it that much. I just love this thing. It's just too much fun, and I'm not going to get in trouble. I just sold my FZ09. If you guys follow the channel, that didn't last long, and I'll tell you why. Every single time I got on this thing, it was just wide open, buddy. If it'll pull the wheel up in third gear, I want it to. And that's not good for Benny. So I couldn't handle it. I said just get rid of that before I go to jail. or whatever, you know, kill myself. I don't need that in my life right now. If you can't control yourself on a powerful motorbike, then guess what? Don't ride it, because it's dangerous. Touring and moto camping, guess what? This little bike is going to go touring and moto camping, and I'm probably going to put a lot of miles on it doing that too. I just think it's fast enough. Again, if I have to hit the freeway a little bit, I can. Otherwise, I'm going to stick to these back roads and enjoy myself and take a little longer to get there. And I think it'll be all right. It's going to be a new experience for me. The Z900 RS, you just wanted to get on the interstate because it's just, you're just zipping down the dang road, man. Weaving through traffic, just fun. But I could never get myself to go on these back roads because I was like, man, I like flying down the interstate, you know. But this kind of forces me to. But again, if I have to get on the interstate, that's all good too. One thing I don't like about this bike, and nobody does, you've already heard it before, the gas tank's too small. That's frustrating. You do have to fill it quite frequently. And also, when you get down on your level of petrol, the light starts flashing, and that's cool, whatever, who cares? That's nice to let you know, but you can't see your mileage after that. And you probably could go in there and hit the button, I guess, to see it, but that's frustrating. I do have an extra gas can, for when I go touring. I'm getting ready to go on a little trip here and there, a few nights, maybe camping. Dairy farm, there's some cattle. Here cows. Here cows. Dairy cows. Here cow. Let me tell you about riding this thing off-road. I don't know anything about it because I haven't done it. Very little. And I know that is what it's for, but I just wanted a nice little light commuting bike. So I looked at those Honda trail bikes, the 125s, and Groms and Cubs and all those things. But the problem with those are they're 125 cc's. You can't get on the interstate. You can't keep up with traffic very well. And it's just, what good is that? I want something I can go anywhere and do anything with. And this is a very universal bike and a small size. Don't expect to buy this motorbike and pull wheelies, you know, just by rolling on the throttle and stuff like that. It's not going to do that. It's 300 cc's, and it's a good 300 cc. But I think people buy it thinking they're getting a dirt bike or something. It's not geared like a dirt bike, you know. It's not going to do the same as a dirt bike. But it's very capable. Very capable. If you're watching this review and you're on the fence about, well, should I buy one? I don't know if I should buy one or not buy one. I say, buy it. If you're thinking about a first bike or a second bike and you can swing it, I think used, they're probably coming down. They've been out for 3 years now. Get one. Thanks for watching. Ride safe, guys. We'll see you next time.